We start off in Zambia, where the country's creditors have pledged to restructure its debts, a move the IMF Managing Director Kristalina Georgieva welcomed as clearing the way for a $1.4 billion fund program. The creditor committee, co-chaired by China and France, said it supported Zambia's envisaged IMF upper credit tranche program and its swift adoption by the IMF Executive Board. In 2020, Zambia became the first African country in the pandemic era to default. The restructuring of its external debt, which amounted to more than $17 billion at the end of last year, is seen by many analysts as a test case. Now, Thabo Kawana is the director and spokesperson at the Ministry of Information and Media in Zambia. He joins us live via Zoom from Lusaka for more on this story. Thank you very much, Mr. Kawana, for joining us. So what are the terms of this restructuring of Zambia's debt?
Thank you very much for having us. Well, it's good news for us as a country that our creditors have shown a positive indication that we shall be able to get that which we asked them. And we are grateful to the committee co-chaired between China and France and deputized by South Africa. So what this means to us is that the creditors mainly have agreed to take a haircut, also to stretch our repayment. And out of that, we are to get ourselves some headroom, some fiscal space, so that the money we're supposed to use to pay back, and since we've been given some space to repay, we can utilize that money in our economy to be able to look after our people better.
Now, in 2020, Zambia became the first country in Africa in the pandemic era to default on foreign debt. What measures is the government doing to restore confidence among bondholders?
Well, it is what we are putting in place in terms of management and financial discipline as a country, and ensuring that we put development first in our agenda for our people. We are the first African country in the last 2 years to get an IMF certificate of economic fitness. And this has helped to restore confidence in our bondholders and creditors. And you saw that our president also, as our chief marketer, is globetrotting and ensuring that his trips are bringing fruits back home. He was in the EU where he addressed the EU, and out of that you saw the EU president visiting Zambia, you saw the Italian president visiting Zambia, and he also attended in Cape Town, the Indaba. And out of that mining Indaba, we saw a whopping 1.5 billion investment pledge from FQM. Part of which just last week, they invested 300 million in the biggest nickel mine in Africa, which the president was able to open. Now, this is the biggest investment we have had in mining after a very long time of dormant and no investment in the mining sector. So this is what is giving confidence to the people around us, the international community, that now they've got the correct men and women in office.
And now indications are that the $1.4 billion bailout from the IMF is forthcoming. What key areas will these funds be directed to?
Well, mainly it's education, health, and infrastructure development. You know that this money is coming in to work as a balance of payments. This will help us also to boost our foreign reserves. And as a result of boosting our foreign reserves, it also helps our kwacha to strengthen, so that we have a strong kwacha. It will also help assist us to repay some of the people that we owe. But what is most importantly is that it will be able to unlock most of the resources that are sitting with the World Bank. And the World Bank is willing to assist us, but they needed first to get this IMF certificate of economic fitness. And now also the Africa Development Bank itself is already also giving us money as a result of this certificate of economic fitness from the IMF. Already we are talking of a whopping 300 million in agriculture alone from the World Bank, which will pay back over a long period of time at zero interest. So this is very exciting time for us, and this is what the Zambian people have been waiting for, that if they put in place prudent managers of public resources, we will be where we are today, and it's a good place to be.
And finally, Mr. Kawana, do these funds from the IMF come with conditions? And if yes, what are they?
Well, the IMF of the 1990s and the IMF of today is different. In the 90s, they would prescribe to you what you needed to do and they give you conditions. But the IMF of today, it gets to note the conditions that we set for ourselves. Remember that Zambia is the third largest country in IMF in terms of Africa. On the African continent, we are number 3. Therefore, we sit at the high table and we are part of the people that set the conditions. So the conditions that we have with the IMF are conditions we set ourselves. We said to the IMF, we were going to recruit, for example, 30,000 teachers. We said we were going to recruit 11,000 health workers. We said we were not going to overborrow in the local market and shading out the private sector. And all these measures that we have taken, the IMF has noted. And what they have is a notebook with their checklist to see if what we claim we are going to do, we are able to do it. And so far, all their check boxes are ticked because everything we said we will do, they are checking and they're finding that we are doing. So the conditions are that we set ourselves the conditions and we present to them and they note them. If they feel this can be done, then they watch to see if we are going to do them or not. And so far, we have done it. So Zambia is ready for business.
All right, Mr. Thabo Kawana in Lusaka, thank you very much for your time.